Confused about the pricing? I'm Aditi Sharpa. Let's break it down for you. The Manaslu Circuit trek package that Magical Nepal offers includes permits, accommodation, transportation, food, and guides. And as of 2024, it costs around 1,081 American dollars. The permits that are required for the trek are the RAP, Restricted Area Permit, the ACAP, Annapurna Conservation Area Permit, and the MCAP, Manaslu Conservation Area Permit. Now, the RAP is available from September to November, and it costs around 10 American dollars per day. So for 7 days, that's $150. And the ACAP and MCAP are single use. They cost around 22 to 23 American dollars. And there's no time limit, but once you leave the area, you'll have to apply for the permit again. But you don't need to worry about the permits because Magical Nepal will handle it for you. When it comes to transportation, the package includes a round trip on a local bus. But if you want a private Jeep, that will be an additional $490 available at checkout. The Jeep can hold up to 7 people, including the guide, and is also a round trip. For accommodation, tea houses are available throughout the trek, and you'll probably have to share a room with someone, but if you want more privacy, that will be $250 American dollars for 12 days and 13 nights. Except for in Dharmashala on the 11th day. The rooms are pretty scarce there, so it might be kind of difficult to get you a private room, but Magical Nepal will try their best. For food, you'll have breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day, and we do have vegan and vegetarian options in most places. The guides provided by Magical Nepal are experienced and have over a decade of experience in the Manaslu Circuit, so they're very well acquainted with the locals, so if you need anything, you can always talk to them. Another add-on we have is if you require a porter, that will be around 300 American dollars as of 2024. The weight limit is 20 kgs and Magical Nepal will provide a duffel bag. Most travelers opt to share a porter between 2 people and split the weight 10 kgs. But yes, the weight limit is 20 kgs and a porter is also available at checkout in our website. There are other miscellaneous expenses that we have not included in the package because it's not going to be the same for each traveler. For example, someone might want to have a Coke after a trek, or someone might want a beer, which we don't really recommend because of the altitude, but you get that. Also, some places might charge you for Wi-Fi or to charge your electronics, and also for hot showers. So for miscellaneous expenses, we recommend carrying around $10 per day. So for 12 to 13 days, that might be around $150 to $200, and you should be carrying it in cash because up there you don't have online pay or cards. So you should take the cash out when you're in Kathmandu, and you should be ready for the trek. And that about covers everything in our cost video. I hope you have a fun adventure.